everyone, Midits here. Minecraft has been a major part of my life for a long time. Despite this, I have rarely played the Java edition of the game. So in today's video, I will jump into Java by playing and reviewing its most popular server, Hypixel. And in playing Hypixel, I'll see how Java compares to Bedrock edition, which I'm so used to, and if it is even better. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let's get straight into this. Going into Hypixel, I expected there to be a lot of minigames, but I still feel like I underestimated how many there were. The first thing I tried was Beta minigame, a smaller part of the build battle minigame called Speed Builders. The aim of the game is that everyone is shown the same build and then has to recreate it in a short amount of time. Build battle has always been one of my favorites, and this would be really fun if I wasn't playing on a trackpad. Seriously, why do I keep doing this to myself? As I joined Wool Games, I realized that most of these options in the game menu were likely to have multiple game types. So yeah, sorry if I don't go into too much detail with these games. I want to have this video out by the end of the year. Anyway, the first Wool game is Capture the Wool. It's an alternate version of Capture the Flag. I joined a game and my team lost very quickly, with me doing absolutely nothing. Then in the next round, my team won very quickly, with me doing absolutely nothing. Since the previous minigame was a play on Capture the Flag, I was expecting Sheep Wars to be a play on maybe Sky Wars. So imagine my horror when I join a game and immediately start being bombed, as explosive sheep are being thrown at me. Other than that, the game was pretty good. After that, I joined Wool Games, where you have two teams facing each other. You have to place your team's blocks at the center of the map. Whoever adds all 9 blocks, whoever has the most at the end, wins the round. When I played, my team was doing pretty good, but I guess the blue team's little brother stopped playing because we got absolutely destroyed at the end, going from 0 to 2 in our favor to them winning the game. Now, I've watched some videos regarding Hypixel a long time ago, so I did not come into this completely blind, but wow, I completely forgot just how ginormous Skyblock is. I had to leave pretty quickly because I knew that I did not want to get completely absorbed by the game. You first start off on a regular island and you get a little tutorial. I noticed some smaller details regarding character stats that I'd never seen on other versions of Skyblock, but I just kept on playing. Then I went to the village, and then I saw the map. As I saw the absolutely monstrous size of the world, I thought to myself that this iteration of Skyblock on its own could easily be enough content for just one server. Yet, it's just a single part of Hypixel. I feel like the further we get into Hypixel, the harder it will become to put this anywhere near the same league as some of the previous servers I've talked about. Next up was Hypixel SMP, where you can create your own SMP world on the server. Unfortunately, only players who have a VIP Plus rank or higher can create SMPs. While this has been a detractor of a lot of servers I played, as I feel like whole game modes should not be locked behind paywalls, it does not bother me as much here. First, there's already so much content so far that I don't think I would ever get bored enough that I would wish to play on an SMP to have something else to do. And second, while you need to be a certain rank to create an SMP, you can add other players to the SMP regardless of their rank. So I do think that's a nice feature. Bed Wars is the following minigame, and I have not made it a secret that I'm not a big fan of Bed Wars. I personally have found it to be kind of boring with short bursts of entertainment laced throughout. I will say that this is a standard Bed Wars experience, so if you do enjoy this minigame, you'll have a great time. And hey, when I played it for this video, the round I had moved a lot faster compared to the other times I played Bed Wars. I even had a pretty exciting moment where someone threw a fire charge at me and I tossed it back as if I was in the hit movie Kung Fu Panda 2. Anyway, my team lost after that. While most of the Bed Wars game modes just change the number of players on a team, I found the Rush mode interesting, where all the ore droppers are upgraded to the max by the start of the game. Honestly, I could see myself maybe coming back to that one, since I can see it allowing for much faster rounds. I then moved on to the always classic Sky Wars, albeit with some extra content. There is regular Sky Wars as you would expect, although correct me if I'm wrong, there seems to not be a Teams of 4 mode for Sky Wars. There are also 2 more minigames under the Sky Wars package. Duels, where you fight on 2 sides rather than a free-for-all, and Lucky Blocks, which is Sky Wars with the titular items being used. It really speaks to the quantity of content on Hypixel that what would normally be listed as 2 or 3 separate game categories on another server is all part of one here. Following that was Murder Mystery, and to my surprise, even that had unique game modes. I played the regular version and decided to have the hiding place of a kindergartner, and I somehow survived. I then tried out Infection, which has a simple concept of one person being infected and having to get everyone else. I fell into a trap in a house, and the game was over by the time I got out. The last game is Assassins, where everyone is a murderer, and everyone has to kill a certain person that the game tells them to. You can only attack the person you need to kill, or the person hunting you down, or else you'll get stunned. I've been genuinely impressed so far by not just how much there's to this server, but also just how unique everything is. To put into perspective how much there is, I have gone through 1/3 of the minigames so far. We're still in for quite a long ride. Housing is the next thing up, and I honestly find this one super cool. Basically, you get to create your own Minecraft house and also visit the houses of other players. While I've never been really good at it, building houses has always been something I have enjoyed doing in Minecraft. This looks like something I could easily see myself pouring hours of my life into, especially the feature of being able to just randomly select any player's house to visit. I entered TNT games and there were 6 different games. Oh boy. I started off with Bow Spleef, where everyone was holding bows and staying on one platform of TNT that can be destroyed with arrows. You really cannot mess around here if you want to win. So anyway, I lost. After this, I ran into a problem that I was expecting to see at some point during this server. I tried to play PvP run, but I never reached the maximum players needed for the game. I guess that is a price to pay when so much content is in one server. Some games are just bound to be overlooked. Although TNT Run, the next game I played, had a very similar lobby to PvP Run, so I'm guessing that you will probably get the same experience playing that. Okay, let me go through the other TNT games quickly. In TNT Tag, people with TNT chase you, and if you get tagged, you have to pass on to someone else before the TNT explodes. Wizards is a great game, I couldn't play it. Boast Belief Duels is a great game, I could play it. Arcade Games has more content than most of the servers I've talked about. I actually do not want to go into detail about each of these because it would drag the video for way too long. I'll just list the games available when I played and move on. Mini Walls, Blocking Dead, Zombies, Dropper, Capture the Wool, which I previously played, Party Games, Pixel Party, and Hypixel Says. This genuinely has more worthwhile content than Pixel Paradise and Mineville combined. We are back with Build Battle, another one of my favorites. I did not screen record my playthrough because I knew it would look like I was playing a modern Pokemon game, but I did make sure to get a picture of my build here. You're welcome, by the way. There's also Guess the Build. We have a theme and need to make the build while someone else guesses what the theme is, or vice versa. It's pretty fun, and while some people just outright showed the answers by saying it and adding extra words, it didn't happen far too often for me. I'm not going to go too deep into duels, since quite a few of the options here appear in other game modes, and once again, this section alone is larger than the selections of entire servers. There's a section called Prototype, but it contains minigames that we already talked about. I tried to play UHC, but the game had a pretty big minimum number of players needed that did not end up being fulfilled. From what I gathered though, it is a minigame that starts off as a survival world, and then it turns to PvP, which is advertised as very difficult. It's honestly a shame that I was not able to try this out during my playthrough, but I guess it is a pretty difficult game mode, since it's a struggle to even start the game. There is, once again, another section dedicated to a collection of small games. The further we get through the server, the more glad I am that I didn't try to name every minigame. Anyway, classic games consist of Quakecraft, Arena Brawl, The Walls, Vampire Z, Turbo Kart Racers, and Paintball Warfare. I knew how praised this server was. I knew that tons of people play on it, and I know that this is the de facto first option for most people when it comes to the best Minecraft server, but I still continue to be shocked by how many minigames there are. There's a game called Cops and Crims where you either have to plant bombs or prevent the other team from planting them, depending on what side you are on. Or at least that's what it is in Defusal, because the other two versions, Gun Game and Team Deathmatch, literally had 0 players when I looked at them. I sadly could not play Mega Walls, as there were some people there, but it wasn't enough for the game to start. The Hypixel Pit is one huge fighting free-for-all arena, where a ton of players can fight each other. Sadly, it seems like the further you get into the minigame list, the fewer people there are playing the games. I wasn't able to play Smash Heroes as there were no players in any of the game modes. Warlords is another minigame with few people, but at least enough where I could play a little bit when I joined. It seems to be other minigames with a twist. For example, I played Capture the Flag but with magic spells you can make. It's your standard minigame, although I do think the Capture the Flag game I played went for a tad bit too long, and then I wasn't able to play the other Warlords games. These last few games have been kinda rough due to their lack of players, but what could be a better way to finish this server than with the classic survival games? Well, that's not exactly what this is. This version is called Blitz Survival Games, and while it is incredibly similar, there is a minor difference. During the game, an item with great power called the Blitz Star appears. If you manage to get it, it will greatly help you with winning the game. I of course can't describe how, cause I obviously didn't get it. And that is every minigame in Hypixel. I had high expectations entering this server, and it crushed them in every single way. I have said this a few times across my other reviews of servers, but I genuinely mean it when I say that I do not know how you could become bored with this server. I spent hours playing through each of these games, and I barely scratched the surface of a single one of them. As I mentioned previously, just a single game mode of Hypixel is larger and more replayable than most of the sponsored Minecraft Bedrock Edition servers. While it does suck that it can be really difficult to play some of the mini games, since there is so much that some games are forgotten by players, there isn't much that Hypixel could really do about that. Nevertheless, this server is incredible. While I cannot say much when it comes to comparing Java to Bedrock, as I am still not completely used to Java, let me say this. Fellow Bedrock players, play Hypixel because it will be one of the most game-changing Minecraft experiences that you will ever have. And Java players, you're right, your version of the game is pretty good. I hope y'all enjoyed today's video. If you did, check out some other content, and if you really did, subscribe if you want to see me make more Minecraft related content, and if you can't wait for new content, check out this video on screen to see one of my older reviews. That's going to be it for now, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.